Every challenge brings change, and in northern Colorado, brewers adapt quickly. Tastes shift, trends come and go, but the love for craft and community stays strong. From experimenting with new flavors to keeping up with what drinkers want, our breweries show how beer can evolve without losing its heart, because innovation is the backbone of every brewer.
In the last couple of years, and I know that my other brewer compatriots can sympathize with this, but people are drinking less, they're spending less. It behooves a business, any small business, to adapt to the times, right? So there's no way that I'm able to sit back in my bar chair and just say, I'm still making the same things, come back to me when you're ready. It just doesn't work that way.
It's been fun to see it change now for a decade or more, not just in northern Colorado, but across the country. I think even though craft beer is kind of slowing down a little bit, I think 2 years ago we were down about 1% by volume for craft beer. Last year was down about 4%. This year it's probably around that same amount, 4 to 5%. We've continued to grow between 7 and 10% for the last 3 years, and on pace for that again this year. And a lot of that, kind of stemming the tide, or even kind of finding growth in a contracting market or a maturing market, I think is based on just continuing to evolve and adapt without abandoning your core values. You can't say we're going to just be a totally different brewery, we're going to make different products, we're going to change our culture and who we are. I think people resonate with that in some regards. We can't abandon that, but I think we can continue to say, is there a way we can bring in more people and find a new audience?
I think an interesting thing for us as a legacy brewery is, we have a brand like 90 Shilling that's still a very strong brand for us. It's probably number 2 in our portfolio, and we have a wide portfolio. And that's been around since the beginning. So we have this obligation, duty to be consistent with 90 Shilling and make sure it doesn't swerve off its trajectory, while maintaining its quality as raw materials adjust and hops come out of the ground and new varieties of barley come into play and different crop years present different challenges and opportunities. So we're constantly kind of tweaking 90 Shilling to make sure 90 Shilling remains 90 Shilling. But on the flip side, we have to push the envelope and innovate and play around with corn and these new hop varieties and other processes and products that are out there. As a brewery that's been around for a while, people are asking for old brands to come back, and we'll re-release things. I'll use 5-barrel pale ale as an example. Again, we had our hop back process, so we're using whole flower hops in this 5-barrel English style pale ale that was like cutting edge at the time. It's over 20 years, probably 25 years ago now. It was really hoppy for the market back then, right? Everything was really malt forward or light, and that was just, blew you away with hops. Well, turns out they're pretty mild hops in pretty low quantities compared to what you see today, even in a pale ale. So when we re-release 5-barrel today, it doesn't come across to anyone as hoppy because the tastes have changed so much onto the kind of hop forward side of things with a pale ale or IPA. So the consumers changed a lot, but they're still looking for flavor. That's something that hasn't changed with the craft brew consumer. Is everyone's looking for flavors.
I think that's a challenge everyone has to answer differently. For us, it's about trying new things and finding out if a new product, a new style resonates more with a different customer base, then that's what we'll lean into. For other breweries, it's non-alcoholic is on the rise, and I think it's amazing to see how much quality and improvement and innovation is happening in that space. And I think anyone that, immediately dismisses that as a part of craft beer doesn't understand how difficult it is to make a good one.
That's a significant challenge for a lot of small breweries. It's a difficult product to make, and it's a difficult product to make safely, which through my work at CSU, we're trying to help other small breweries do that in a safe way. That's a very unique scientific challenge.
I mean, there's only so many more things it feels like we can do with beer, but really there isn't. Like, there's so many things. There's somebody's gonna think of something we haven't even thought of yet. Whether it's a new IPA style or something unique. There's always new hops coming out. There's always new yeast strains, malt, and all these new ingredients that we can play with and things you haven't thought about.
Beer's been around for 8 to 10,000 years. Beer's not going anywhere. fermentation as a beer production or food preservation method has been around for millennia, right? So the idea of beer or fermented beverages is not going anywhere. The way that we present them to the customer, the types of flavors that we have, the amount of alcohol that we have, there's so much that we can do. Whether or not we should is a separate question. But it's opened people's eyes to what things could taste like or combinations that they didn't expect. So we're making non-alcoholic beers, we're making lower alcohol beers, we're reducing the bitterness in some of our beers to make them more approachable to a wider audience. We're having events in the brewery that are less focused on consumption and less focused on beer. So that kind of aspect of it, I think, has been the adaptation that we're trying to do. The industry is changing all the time, and I don't really necessarily like the chasing of trends, but making sure that my customer always has a reason to come in is what I'm after.